Yo, what's up everyone? It's me again. Hope everyone's league start is going well. As of today, it is one day before it is 1 week into the new league, so I thought it was about time to make a video just talking about like my overall experiences, thoughts, impressions, feelings about the league, and also share with y'all some strats that I've come up with for the various things in King's March, as well as like share my main like Atlas SSF farming strat, I guess. So yeah, let's get into it. So I think the league itself, I think the new league mechanic is good. You know, everything about the league itself I think is fine. Melee rebalance is good and everything. The league mechanic itself, King's March, I think is actually a lot of fun. I do think it's pretty fun and engaging to like balance each of the different resources and like micromanage the town. I do think it's pretty fun. However, I do think the loot definitely needs like a really big rework. I feel like the loot is kind of uninspiring. I guess I saved up some ships for this video, so I guess I'll just show you guys like what I get from these. So these are like 1 million to like 1.5 million shipments or whatever, and this is like the main loot. Like every resource that you gather in the league mechanic is ultimately like to do shipments to get loot. And I found the loot to be like not very good, you know, it was kind of made me sad, but I'm still trying to like meet my quotas because apparently every time you meet a quota in a destination, like every time you complete all the quotas, apparently there's like some secret port level that levels up, and I am like coping super hard that if I meet enough quotas, my loot will be good. So I'm like coping, but as of now, I've basically been playing the game like 16 hours a day, like every day since league start. And I haven't really been getting anything good except for like, you know, one divine here and there, which is like not very inspiring, right? Like it doesn't really feel good to like get 1 or 2 divines a day if you play like all day, you know, but let's just see what I get from this. This one I think is a bigger one, this first one. Wow, I got 5 chaos. Great. Take. The second one I think was also a fairly big one, like 1 mil or something. Wow. I got nothing at all. I guess search for quality. Alright, I guess I'll take the ones with quality and vendor them for GCPs. And the third one I think was a pretty small one. Yeah, nothing really relevant here. So yeah, I feel very disappointed with the loot personally. I think it needs a severe rework. I think runes need to drop more. I think rune progression is just too slow in SSF, and I think the loot needs a big rework. And especially the rare items. I feel like the rare item rewards from the shipments are like the worst of all, because most of the time they're just like not worth anything at all. Like a lot of the times they're not even like smart rolled, and even when they are, they have the wrong mods and are on the wrong bases. So I think the armor rewards are just really bad and need a rework. And I think the currency rewards also need like a lot more like rebalance, but it is what it is. I'm still coping that GG will drop like a big patch that will fix everything and make everything good, but yeah. So my main strat for this has just been to send things, like try to meet the quotas in the rune destinations, being Rivenfell, Pondium, and Calgar. And there's like 2 different kinds of shipments that I do. The first one is like, you know, a big shipment. For example, if I have like a lot of any resource, I'll just like dump it into one destination just to try to meet the quotas. And if I don't have a lot of resource, I'll just do like a 100 shipment. So like in this case, I'm just trying to meet these quotas. I do try to save Calgar for like when I sleep, because this one takes 4 hours. So I try not to like do this one until like, you know, badge time, because it takes too long. But yeah, so what I'll basically do, for instance, is, so this one's just a huge quota, so maybe not that. I do like Rivenfell a lot because it's just fast. So in this case, I don't really have enough materials to like complete any giga shipment. Well, I guess I can do a giga shipment to Pondium. Yeah, so let me do a giga shipment there, actually. So let me first take everyone off. And then do this. And let's do one here. So it looks like I have 16,000 blue xanthemum. So that's easy. And if you want to know like the exact like strats and the numbers and the data, there's like other videos that are better than this one for that, but I'm just going to show you guys like what I do. And then apparently 8,000 gold is like a 3x, 8,000 dust is like a 3x multiplier. So I'll just have that. And then do I have enough corn and crimson iron to do anything good here? 95,000 crimson iron divided by 5 is 20, shoot. Well, this is 20,000, it's 19, right? Yeah, it's 19,000 bars to get this. Do I have 19,000 bars? I actually do have 19,000 bars. And then let me just put like my best dudes in here. And then I guess I have some corn left that I can put in there as well to meet the, to try to like, you know, optimize my risk. So how much corn can I get in here? 10,000 corn? Oh, I only have 5,000 corn. All right, so what about 4,000 corn? Okay, so if I have this shipment, I can like meet these quotas. And I can like knock 2 of them out and then like make progress towards corn. And also have 0% risk. So that is like a good shipment to do. The only weird thing is that like, I heard that like there is like a hidden port level. And like when you complete quotas, you make your hidden port level go up. And as it goes up, your quotas become more and more rewarding with bigger multipliers. But then like shit like this happens, right? Like I've completed a lot of quotas and then I get this, and this is like 75, 60, 30, which is like very bad multipliers. I don't know what's going on with that. Like why am I getting like 30 multiplier when all my other ones are like 100 plus? That makes no sense. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm just trying to meet the quotas and like play the game the way it's intended to be played, I guess. So that's like one example of a shipment I would do. And then since I don't really want to go here during the day, I'm just trying to build up wheat. And then here, I guess I also need corn here. So I need corn here and there. So I don't have enough to like do another shipment. So I've basically been doing like really small shipments. Like in this case, I may do something like this with like 55 or something. Apparently like 55 and like 550 and 8,000 are like the multiplier breakpoints or something. So I'll just do something like this and just put like 1 bro here or 2.
Let's get that loaded. Get those.
And these small shipments are mainly just good for farming runes. You can even do like 100 if you want. I just wanted to do 1,000 because it's easier to like math. Not that, I mean, you can always use a calculator, but yeah. Like if I don't have anything, I'll just do like a 100 shipment and like get some runes back or whatever. So that's basically what I've been doing, just trying to like meet quotas. And if I don't have enough resources, just do like really small shipments to try to get runes. And yeah, that's basically my strat. Haven't really gotten anything crazy good, but I do think it's the league mechanic that needs work. So I'll just do this. And then, so that's shipping. Oh, and then also like every time after I ship, I look at like what resources I need and then like set the farmers to that. So in this case, I need a shit ton of corn and I need a shit ton of wheat. So I'm going to do like 50-50 corn and wheat in my town. Also at this point, I should also mention my town is like maxed out. So here I'll just do like 3 wheat, I guess. And 3 corn. Oh, I guess I also need ore gourds because I'm trying to meet the quota for another one as well. Like I'm trying to like just complete the easy ones. So like I need 9,500 ore gourd for this. All right, so I'll do like 3 wheat, 2 corn, and 1 ore gourd. Like this, just to try to meet the quotas. And at this point, all my dudes are like level 8+. So yeah. So that's shipping. What else is there to talk about? I guess the other big one is mapping. So I also saved this for this video, which is basically like, yeah. So The mapping system is kind of interesting. It is definitely like a giga gold sink. Like, I definitely don't think the rewards are worth it from this mechanic. It's just that if you happen to have extra gold, like, I would recommend doing this. Also, I need this for a challenge, so I've been doing this. So if you see here, at this point, I have like rank 9 and then like rank 8 mappers, and that's the best that I got. And that allows me to complete like tier 12 maps with like 100% like, you know, completion. And if you raise the tier of the map to blue and yellow, your completion rate goes down, which is bad. You really want to do 100% completion because then you can get like the most loot. I do eventually want to like upgrade the mappers to like tier 9 and tier 10. It's just that it's so hard to get like high tier mappers. They seem really rare. And even if you do like reroll expensive recruits in town, it's just really hard to get high tier mappers. But in order to do like consistent 100% completion of like tier 16s and stuff, you have to have like very high tier mappers like tier 10 and 9, which I guess is like a chase goal for the league. It's just very hard to get. But in any case, let's see what I get from this. This is like, you know, rank 8, rank 9 mappers, white tier 12 sieges. Let's see what I get. I haven't been blown away by the loot that you get from this mechanic, but I mean, it is a gold sink and you do need it for a challenge. And, you know, if you're going to be playing and you're going to be accumulating gold, you may as well just do it. So also it is mildly fun, even if the loot kind of sucks. So yeah, let's run through these. Also, apparently if you have like mappers, like you have a chance to encounter Sasan, the Bandit Lord, which is one of the new bosses. Although I have not encountered Sasan, the Bandit Lord yet, and I've done this for like 3 days straight. So whatever. Maybe I'm just getting unlucky. But as you can see, the loot is like not very good, you know? And like I have like tier 8, tier 9 mappers, which is like pretty high tier and like pretty hard to get. And as you can see, the loot is like pretty mid, you know? I think the loot of this mechanic definitely needs like a big buff. You know, like it could be so much better. It could be so much more interesting. I think that's like one complaint I have like in general, which is like, I think the loot, like there you go, like this took me like 14,000 gold over 2 hours to get this, and you know, it's basically meaningless. It's like 7C, you know, and it's not the best loot. But yeah, like if I had like one complaint to make about like the loot system in PoE, like in general, I feel like there's too much like generic loot. Like, you know, like anybody can like do a map and like get this kind of loot. It's like not particularly special. So I wish like league mechanics in this game like this offered more like unique loot. Like maybe give us like really good rings that we can recombinate, or maybe give us like, you know, items that have like multi-mod on them, or like items that have like really weird crazy mods, you know? Like I would rather get some like unique item rather than just, you know, 5C, 2 fusings, 1 regret, you know? And like the loot from shipping as well, like instead of just giving like 1 divine every now and then, I would like to see like maybe, I don't know, some different like ship mods and items, or like veiled items, or items with like 6 tier 1 mods, or items with like 2 random unveiled mods on it, or like something crazy, you know? Like I'd be very excited to get like rare shit that you couldn't get just like normally mapping. I don't want to see just like 1 div again, you know? That is, if it even gives you a div. So that's like my only complaint with like the loot system. I just feel like generic loot is not very inspiring because you can just get it like anywhere, right? But yeah. So there you go. That was loot from like a bunch of mapping. like right now I can basically only do like tier 12s and like tier 13s. But yeah, like in order to like get the good loot, I feel like you may have to do tier 16s and stuff. The only problem is that it's so hard to get like tier 9, tier 10 mappers, and it just, yeah, life is hard. I also got some uniques here, which I guess I can put into the disenchanter. Let's put this here. Sometimes like for example, some of these like more rare uniques disenchant for a lot of dust. So yeah. I guess while I'm here I can also talk about disenchanting. Like my main strat with disenchanting has just been like I really only want enough dust for shipments. And the big shipments I put 8,000 dust, and the smaller shipments I put either 55 or 550 dust, which is apparently the breakpoint. So all I've been doing is just putting like one level 8 disenchanting bro, and I have found that like one disenchanting bro is enough to like give me as much dust as I would possibly need. And then in order to get the items to go in there, there's two things that I've been doing. The first thing is just like picking up random uniques and just saving them. And the ones that are more rare, that are like higher tier, usually go for more. But you kind of just have to like have a feel of like what unique is like technically high tier or not. And then other than that, I've just been saving up a bunch of influence items. And the way that you get these, well, I mean, so as you can see here, like influence items give you like a lot of dust. There is a thing here that says 50% increase thaumaturgic dust per influence type. So I've just been like trying to go for those. You also get more if they have corruption implicits or quality, but I don't really want to waste my quality currency or Val Orbs on this. So I just put in influence items and it's enough. And the way that you get a lot of influence items is that there is a scarab called Domination Scarab of Apparitions. And this scarab allows you to like accumulate a lot of influence items in your maps by giving you shrines that when you get the buff, it like makes enemies drop influence items. So like in one map, I filled up like 2 full tabs of influence items, like just by using that scarab alone. So, and that was like one scarab too. Like one scarab allows you to fill up like 2 entire stash tabs of influence items. So that is how I'm getting my influence items to disenchant. And this is just enough to do with like just like one person, and this strat it's enough. So that's disenchanting. And then, oh yeah, and then like, I guess I can put in some more maps here. So I guess to demonstrate this, like if I were to put in a tier 16, I guess I can just show you guys right now. Like I'm gonna do like 1 blue, 1 white, and 1 yellow. So this is tier 8 x5 and tier 9 x1 of mappers. And the T16 that's rare has a 42 to 100% completion. The blue one has a 57 to 100, and the white one has a 62 to 100. So as you can see, like it's not that good. Like it does tend to bias towards like the high end of things. So like if it says 42 to 100, like some of them will complete. It's not gonna like pick a random number evenly distributed between. It does tend to bias the completion to the higher end. So I guess for content, I can just like put in a bunch of tier 16s and see what happens. But also a big problem with putting in higher tier maps is that you have a higher chance to die. So like in a tier 16, I have like a 4% chance per map for a dude to die, which would be really cringe and send me back a lot. Whereas if I put in like a tier 13, there would only be like a 1% chance to die. So yeah, it's pretty risky to put in tier 16s, but I mean, may as well give it a shot, right? YOLO and whatnot. So I just take the bad maps, put them in. Probably don't want to put in the corrupted one though. The corrupted ones are like really difficult for the map runners to do. And then I guess just ouch. Yeah, like if you corrupt them, like sometimes they won't even like complete them. But if you just make it yellow and put it in like this, it's like generally okay. So this is maybe not the best strat because the completion chance is very low and there's like a lot of chance for the map runners to die. So this is probably not the smartest thing to do. Like this one's 7% chance to die. You know, so this is maybe pretty dumb. But, for the content, right? YOLO. So yeah, I just do this. And then here I have like some tier 7 mapping bros. This one is probably just not worth doing at all. Like tier 7, I feel like anything that's like tier 7 and below in mapping is like not worth it. It's just that the rate of completion is just so low. Like even if you put in like a tier 14 in white map, it's like, I mean, I guess this would complete, but what about a tier 14 rare map? I guess that would also maybe complete. You only live once. Probably don't want the corrupted one though. Right, so let's just do this, I guess. These have pretty low chance to complete, but these mappers are also just not very good, so YOLO, I guess. Also, mapping is like very expensive, so this is almost definitely not worth it. I'm only doing it because my town is like fully upgraded already, and I don't really have a way to spend gold except to like do this. I guess I could spend my gold re-rolling for recruits, but you know, like what's the point of re-rolling for recruits if you're not gonna like use them, right? So yeah. And then what else is there to talk about? Mining? I guess mining is the most straightforward one. My mining strat is basically just this. I put miners on every resource and I just like evenly put them here. I just try to like get the production rate to be as even as possible. I have found that like you don't really have to worry about mining too much because your miners will always mine faster than you can accumulate the ore. And also, any miner that's like mining a resource that is on 0 is going to be automatically moved to another one. And then if all of your ore marked is 0, then it doesn't cost upkeep. So you can just like put like all your miners on one of these or on like all of these like this, and it's efficient. You'll never like waste gold or anything doing this. So that's really good. And then farming, yeah, my farming strat is basically just to farm, like max out, just like have every plot farming resources that are shippable. So whatever the quota says here, I just farm those. Farming is really straightforward. I do have all my farming plots maxed out at all times. I do think you need to max out all your plots to progress the hidden port level or whatever as efficiently as possible. So I just have all these maxed out. And every time I see a high tier farmer, I buy it. I just try to max this out. And then what else is there to talk about? Rerolling. If I have spare gold, I will sometimes reroll. I'm not sure which one of these is better. Like I've gotten tier 10s from like a normal reroll, and I've also done like expensive reroll and like got nothing. I'm not 100% sure which one of these is better, like which one of these options. But like now that all my dudes are like level 8, it kind of gets like very expensive to reroll. So I don't do this too much, but like in general, when your town is maxed out, I feel like you just want to keep upgrading the tier of workers. The only like high tier recruits that I really want though is like farming and mapping. Like shipping is good, and shipping, I guess. So like high tier shipping, high tier farming, high tier mapping is like very valuable, especially mapping, because you need like tier 9, tier 10 mappers to, you know, map the tier 16s and stuff. And like you need the high tier shipping bros to lower the risk of your giga shipments. And you obviously need the high tier farming bros to farm efficiently. So that's been my strat for that. And then smithing is kind of interesting because it just takes a long time. This is basically my smithing setup or my smelting setup. I basically just try to like even out the production rate just by doing something like this. I have found that smithing is so slow that you really do want to have like 12 people on here just like all the time. Like you're basically never going to run out of ores to smith if you're like blasting maps. So you don't really have to worry about like running out of ore or running out of bars. But at the same time, it is very slow. So I just like leave it like this, just like forever, and just let it go. I never pay attention to this. I just have this and I just like forget about it and just let it go. And then rune smithing. This is something that I think needs a rework. I think some of the crafts are just too expensive. The one that I really want, for example, is this one. Attack projectiles return to you. I want to put this on a two-handed sword so I can play splitting steel with a sword and have it like get the Nimbus effect without needing a Nimbus. The only problem is that the rune costs I think are just way too high. Like this thing requires 15 power runes, which is like the highest tier of rune. And in the whole league, I found 1 power rune. In SSF, I found 1, as you can see, only 1. And in order to craft a power rune, you need 5 of the one before, which is time rune. And I've also only found 1 time rune in the whole league, just 1. And I play like 16 hours a day. I stream, I'm a no-lifer, I have a powerful build that goes fast, and I've only found 1 of this the whole league, and 1 of the one before, and only 8 of the one before that. So yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. Like the rune costs for the more expensive crafts here are just like totally prohibitive, and I hate how much it costs. Like, how am I supposed to get 15 power runes in SSF? I would have to play at this rate 16 hours a day for like 100 days. Like I would have to play the whole league, and maybe on the last day of the league I can make 1 craft. Like what is that? You know? That's bullshit. So I think this rune crafting thing needs an overwork, or needs a rework. It needs an overhaul. Like the rune costs either gotta go down or it's gotta be easier for players to obtain runes, because I've been doing like 3 million shipments and stuff and just like not getting the good runes, you know? I've been doing like shipments to faraway destinations, 3 million gold sometimes, you know, like I'd be doing bosses. I killed like, you know, maybe a dozen bosses by now. You know, I killed like the Admiral boss and like the Starfall Crater boss like multiple times, and I just only have 1 power rune. So this needs a rework. I do think some of the crafts are pretty good. If I had one wish, I would want the crafts to like be more build defining. Like right now, these crafts are just like good, but the only one that is like build defining is like the returning projectiles and maybe like a handful of other ones. But I would like to see these be a lot cheaper and also like more build defining. Like make them do more crazy weird shit, or like make them better, you know? But like as of now, the only ones I've been using is like added lightning damage. So like, and I've only been crafting tier 2 because it's cheap. Like, you know, tier 3 would be a lot better, of course, but it costs 55 runes, which is like so much for SSF. So I just been like doing tier 2 added lightning damage on my claws, and that's all I've been doing because it's just too expensive. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, I guess the main bottleneck for me right now is just runes. It's just that it's annoying how hard it is to get runes. I'm really not sure like what you can do to get more runes. Like I have a screenshot actually that I want to share. So this is a screenshot that I taken. This is basically what I got from like a 3 million shipment to like a rather far away destination. And this was like a quota shipment as well. There was like a big multiplier on pumpkins, like 100% or something. And I did this, and as you can see, I only got like the worst runes. I didn't even get any of the good runes, like no power runes, no time runes, in addition to like 3C. It's like, this is just really sad. Yeah, long story short, runes need to drop more, or the cost of rune crafting needs to go down, and the ship loot needs to go up. And that's my thoughts on that. Okay, so that's the lead mechanic. I think the lead mechanic as a whole is really fun. It's just the loot needs to be buffed severely, and I am still huffing the copium that they're going to do it. Every day I wake up and I think to myself, today's going to be the day that they drop the patch and the loot is going to be good. But we'll have to see what actually happens. And then, I guess there's also recombinating. I don't really have a strat for this. I have heard some people say that it's been nerfed a lot and you can't do like fractures or like essences in here anymore. I personally have not had anything to recombinate, so whatever. But maybe someone else has like some recombinating strat. I personally just have not been using it at all. Just can't think of anything that I would do. I guess I could try to like upgrade my weapon or whatever, but I'm lazy. So yeah. And then what else? That's basically it. I guess I can also talk about progression, like, but there's not much to talk about. I just, upgrading mining to the max level first is good because you get like more gold. Marking ore in areas grants gold equal to the amount of ore. And then after you max mining, I would just say to max farming. And then after that, like max disenchanting, and then smithing, and then shipping. And then I guess the ones that you want to do last are mapping and recombinating. Those are the worst value ones. Oh, I've run out of gold. Oh, and then I can also talk about gold. I feel like gold also needs a rework. Like if I max out my entire town, my upkeep goes to like 30,000 plus. Like if I want to do like all my map devices, oh wow, one of my mappers died. That's great. What a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, like, yeah, like if I want to do like town maxing, if I want to like max out everything, like the upkeep would be like 30,000, 40,000 per hour. And I feel like that's just like so crazy. Like some days I play like 16 hours a day, just blasting maps nonstop. And I feel like at the end of the day, I just have like no gold left.
What do you need?
I feel that,
I see
gold
ya.
is like so hard to get, even with a strat that I think is like good for getting gold. So I would like to see the gold costs go down, because this feels really bad that every hour you lose 24,000 and I'm not even like maxing everything out. That's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. And I guess the last thing I can talk about is like my just like general mapping strat. So I do think like, because the gold costs are like so prohibitive, I think that, Atlas strats this league and SSF need to be centered around getting gold. And this is basically the best that I've come up with. It's something like this. I do have a couple of things on here that are kind of bullshit that you probably don't need, like heist. I only have heist on here for the challenge. I only have lab on here for the Dark Shrine challenge. I don't really care about this. So ignore the heist and the lab. But other than that, my strat has basically just been strong boxes, end game map drops. Again, for a challenge, just ignore that. And then I guess like the core strat in SSF, I feel, is just like get quant and do shrines and strong boxes and Exarch altars. Strong boxes are good because if you get the one that gives you like, if you get the strong box that says like guarded by a stream of monsters, that one gives a lot of gold. So I do think that strong boxes is good, like if only for that particular mod. And then shrines are good because they make you move faster. Also, there is a shrine that gives you quant, and quant means more gold. And also shrines can spawn with magic monsters around them, and that gives you more gold as well. So I think shrines and strong boxes are like mandatory for like gold maxing this league. And then also, of course, these nodes in the middle here, getting all these quant nodes, I think is also mandatory. Otherwise, you're just like gonna have less gold. So, and then I think searing Exarch altars is the only other like mandatory thing here. Oh, and also Kirak, which I'll talk about later. So, because gold scales off of quant is what you need to go after. So what I've been doing is basically just like, I get a bunch of maps of whatever type. I chisel to maximum quality, alch, val, and I just like run this. There's like a lot of good val outcomes now. Like if you get 8 mod, that's a lot of quant. You can also get like bonus quant on the implicit, as I got here. And the way that I've been sustaining these is basically Exarch altars. So right off the bat, Exarch altars are important because they give you everything that you need. Exarch altars can give you chisels, chaos orbs, and val orbs, all of which help you sustain chisel, alch, val on your maps. In addition, Exarch altars give you chaos orbs, which can be used to buy chisels from Kirak. So what I've been doing is like, I will just like burn a random Kirak mission like this, and then go to Kirak and just like buy these chisels for 8C for 20. And I have found that with searing Exarch altars, you actually over sustain chaos, even buying chisels from Kirak for every map. Like you can 20% chisel all your maps buying chisels from Kirak and actually sustain chaos, like over sustain with Exarch altars. And so for that reason, I think it's important to invest a little bit into Kirak. So this node here, Commission Officer, gives you additional chance for a Kirak mission. I guess you could also take these small nodes, but they're only 2%, so I don't know about that. But like this node here gives you like additional Kirak mission chance. I have these scouting report nodes just so I can like get my unique maps. But this node here I think is like pretty good, maybe even these small nodes. Because the more Kirak missions you get, the more you can refresh his inventory, which means the more chisels that you can buy. So that's basically what I've been doing. Just Exarch altars, Kirak missions to get chisels, chisel, alch, val every map, try to get as high quant as you can, and that allows you to, gold max basically. And then shrines and strongboxes give you a little bit of bonus gold on top of that. And then the rest of the shit can just be whatever. I would also recommend taking like all these pack size nodes. It's just that when you increase the pack size of Exarch packs, you can get more loot from them. So that's like more chisels, more, alches, val orbs, chaos, whatever. So I found that to be good. And then you have some freedom for like whatever else you want to take. I was running Expedition for a very long time, but I got sick of it, so I decided to take it off. But like you don't even need Expedition for this. Like for some reason, like between the boat loot and like Exarch altars and stuff, for some reason you're able to like over sustain chaos and chisels and val orbs without Expedition. So like I have like not even been like cashing in my Tujin. I have like 164 Tujin. Like I have maybe like did 10 windows of Tujin the whole league. And I didn't even need to do that because without this, I can already sustain my mapping strat, alch, chisel, val. So like I decided to take Expedition off, but I would still recommend farming Expedition like if you can stand it, because you do get a lot of loot from Tujin, and also Rog can give you good items, but you don't need Expedition this league. It's not like super mandatory. So yeah, that's basically my strat, and that's how I try to gold max. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing this league. I guess like my main dopamine hit right now is like getting runes. Like every power rune and time rune I get, I'm like, yes. It's just that it seems like I'm only getting like one of those a day, playing like 16 hours a day. So yeah, still hoping for that big patch where everything is fixed, more ship loot, more map automated map loot, more runes, or cheaper costs of crafts. I'm just like hoping that those changes happen. So yeah, that's basically how my league is going. At this point, I'm basically maxed out on my Lightning Strike Glad, although my weapons are still pretty dog shit. Like I am missing like multi-rolls on both of these. My claw has one mod on the prefix, which is tragic. I definitely need to like upgrade these. Maybe I'll try some recombinations or whatever. But yeah, that's basically going to be it for this video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, or whatever. I just thought I'd share my thoughts on the league mechanic, how I optimize my King's March, and yeah, how I do my core Atlas farming strat for SSF this league. And I guess since these ships came back, I can just like open these content window, right? Okay, whatever. Power rune? No power rune. Sag. But this was like a 1,000 shipment, so whatever. Alright, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next one.